Curriculum learning. This curriculum learning concerns the fact that this is again very much inspired by how humans learn. Humans learn as we go through primary school, middle school, secondary school. We have a sequential way of learning things, right? From foundational language to basic sciences, and then building on to that to build basic science theories, and then going on to build more complex physics, chemistry research, or it could be specialized domains in engineering where you could be looking at construction, mechanical engineering, electronics engineering, computer science, each of these being specializations that you keep building on these foundational blocks. So a curriculum learning is a concept that is borrowed from reinforcement learning, where what is the equivalent of that in the LLM space, right? How should we basically train our LLM models? And this involves questions like what task mixtures to train our models on pre-training, how much of this should be code, how much of this should be QA, how much of this should be social sciences, etc. Right? So you could think of this as task mixtures. Another way to think about it is how do you want to introduce data? Like I said, in schools we learn from basic sciences and then build on the complexity. So maybe here, what is that analogy here? Do we want to learn chronological sorting of events or news? And how do we introduce domains? For example, how do you introduce language? And you can think about like tens of other parameters around these. So there are, as you can see, this is a combinatorial problem. So how do you allocate your budget? Like if you think about pre-training, let's say this is your loss, pre-computed loss, and this is the number of days you're training. Typically, this is how it is. It comes down. And of course, this is not as clean as this. Practical loss curves look a lot more fuzzy, and you need a lot of hand-holding to make it work. But let's assume this is generally the trajectory, in which case, what should be your early documents or data sets to train here versus these? Should you train domain-related topics at the very end? Should you train language at the very early part? How should you think about all of these? That's basically the question about curriculum learning. How do you allocate optimal training schedule for pre-training based on different data set task mixtures? So curriculum learning is about trying to hyper fine-tune these parameters, which is like a huge combinatorial problem. And you can't simply do a grid search on this because it's just too expensive to do pre-compute, to kind of use GPUs to do pre-training. So there is most of the labs iterate on different techniques, and they have their own mixture of tasks that they found it to be a secret sauce that most often is not revealed. There are very few labs who talk openly about this pre-training data sets, pre-training data set composition, and what goes behind it. One particular paper that really does this very openly is this paper called E. They talk about how does a pre-training pipeline look like. As you can see, it's basically a bunch of different data cleansing, data deduplication, topic diversity, and like a whole bunch of data systems that are put in place to ensure they get highest quality data for pre-training. And each of these have market effect on its performance on LLM leaderboards. So, and there is another paper which is slightly older, which is called Textbooks is All You Need. Textbooks is All You Need is a paper that basically released models called Phi. And they are like really small models, 1.5 billion, 3 billion parameter models that competes with 7 billion, 14 billion models on varied benchmarks. And the biggest distinction they make is the reason why they call this as textbook is all you need is because these are really high quality data sets that they generate, high quality high quality textual data sets that they use to build these models. So it's called Textbooks is All You Need. It's a very interesting paper. But curriculum learning overall is concerned with how do you basically schedule the learning of your LLM, by what are the kind of sequential things that you would do to get to a high quality pre-trained model. So that's curriculum learning.